Good afternoon, Tom. We're here again for another session of Tom Campbell Answers Your Questions. And we've got a couple of questions from some of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you for submitting your questions. This first one is from Craig. Tom, I'll be as succinct as possible. I understand that I'm an avatar sitting in a virtual reality. The larger consciousness system is the computer tasked with creating and maintaining the VR I'm in and all other VRs. Here is where I get confused. I assume there is an other me, he's calling it OM, outside my VR and outside the LCS playing the game, controlling me. If all of this is true so far, how tightly is me connected to the other me? Does the other me understand my life's blueprint? Or am I completely missing that me and other me are so tightly connected that any thought I have is the same thought as the other me has? I've searched through all three big toe books and I cannot seem to puzzle this answer out. Thanks in advance for answering it.
The only, quote, other me, unquote, that you would have is the individuated unit of consciousness. Now, you are a free will awareness unit, which is just a subset of that individuated unit of consciousness. But that's the only other me that you would have. So when you should identify yourself as the individuated unit of consciousness. That's really who you are. That free will awareness unit is just the character that you're now playing. And when that character is done, that character in the virtual reality dies, then that character is retired. It doesn't exist anymore. It's done. It's just a persona that you make the choices for until that persona dies, and then it's done. You get another persona, you get another body, and make the choices for that one. And when that one dies, it's done. And then you get another one, and so on it goes. So all of those personas that you had over the last bunch of incarnations, they don't continue to exist. You use them, and when they die, they're done. They're gone. Okay, so that me, the me that is, I can't remember, you told me his name. The me that is your name, that me that's your free will awareness unit, and that character does not live on. It only goes to its death, and that character's retired. The thing that lives on and on and on and is immortal is your individuated unit of consciousness. Now, that is the entity that collects all of your lifetime's data and tries to learn something from the ensemble, from the collection of all that data. Oh, I see trends here. It looks like the last, 10 incarnations, I've had this kind of problem. I need to work on that. You see, it has that sort of a function where it looks at that all the incarnations, finds patterns, finds places where you need extra work, then decides what kind of incarnation it wants to do next time, sets some plans perhaps, and then agrees to whatever the next incarnation is. And when they agree, then bingo, free will awareness unit is partitioned off. No intellectual component, just the component that measures your quality, and off you go again with that free will awareness unit, which is the local consciousness for that individual avatar.
Right.
So those are the only two yous that there are. There isn't any other me there other than those two. And one of those is really permanent, which is the real you, that's the IUOC. And the other one is a temporary me, which is the character you're playing now.
We know the avatar, just the body, and we know the free will awareness unit. You're calling it the persona. Now, does that free will awareness unit, it just gathers information for the IUOC and then it goes away? Are you saying that personality of that free will awareness unit is then just the choices go to the IUOC and that personality is gone, or does that personality live on as well?
Well, the personality that was the free will awareness unit, that personality of the avatar that you are presently playing. Okay, when that avatar dies, that character, that persona, that personality is retired. It doesn't play anymore. You don't replay that personality in another incarnation. It just gets one incarnation. It plays, it's done. It no longer plays more incarnations, but it still is on record. It still exists in the database. So everything about it, which is all the choices, that were made, all the things that were done, all the thoughts, all the things, that you did, and all the things you thought about doing but didn't do, everything's in there. So it's a very complete record of that personality, but that's it. It's in the database. So historically, you can go in and look at that personality. You can go in and interact with that personality in the database. Okay, but that personality doesn't reincarnate as that personality. Again, it's just part of the record. So
what you're saying is we get a different body and we get a different personality with a different goal to learn some new lessons. So
yes.
do you think that some personality traits carry over, or do you take on a completely unique personality based on those bits of the IUOC that has a personality also, because the LCS has one? So are you going to take on different characteristics, put together a custom package of a free will awareness unit and try that one out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, yes, there are some traits that will carry over from one incarnation to the other, and those are the traits that reflect a person's quality, how low their entropy is. So all those traits that reflect that quality, they will come, but not necessarily as specific traits. Like maybe the last time your avatar did real well and leveled up because he was just so kind to everybody. He just was really wanted to help everyone he met. Okay, now that quality then goes into the next avatar. But whether that is going to manifest as kindness or whether it's going to manifest as something else, maybe it's empathy this time, and he's very empathetic to everybody, and so it's going to manifest in different ways. But yeah, it'll be the same. It'll be a similar kinds of traits. But every time you get a new body, a new avatar, okay, that comes with genetics. That comes with a lot of things that helps determine what that entity is going to be. And it's unique. And you have a different family situation. You have a different environment. You have a totally different set of genetics. So you have a lot of things that are different there. So that person is going to manifest its personality, its traits that it's learned, its quality. It's going to manifest that in unique ways because you got a unique avatar. So it's going to, so it's not just going to repeat exactly the same way. Like every time I reincarnate, I become a piano player. Well, it's not going to be that way. You may have a love of creation and art and a self-expression, but it may not always be a piano player because you may be born with little stubby fingers that just won't reach from across the chords. You may be in a poor place that you never see a piano. There's pianos not in your environment. Something else is. You're still artistic, perhaps, because that's maybe part of the way the whole is. But that artistic sense could, you could be an interior decorator. You could be a stamp collector, and you have real pretty stamps that you like. Who knows how that artistic flair might express itself?
So
Or
we
if
have,
you're,
oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
so it's everything's different. Every incarnation, everything the way you express yourself will depend on your genetics and your environment to a large degree. Now, the details of that expression are all going to be unique from time to time, but the underlying the underlying force or the underlying substance there is the stuff that you bring with you. And that's, that has to do with your quality of consciousness and some traits. You may be a musician many times or an artist, painting or sculpting. You may be into art many incarnations in a row just because that's the way you're connecting with your intuitive side. And in connecting with your intuitive side is what you need to do. You see, so you may be in art, but it's going to express differently in all sorts of ways because your condition's different, your genetics are different, your environment's different, and you will not just, paint the same painting, every time. It's not like that. So yes, there are some we call them some basic things that will come along with you. And those things may change. You may add new things to it, or some will take away. Depends on how you grow as an IUOC. IUOC grows and changes. And now maybe you kind of get over the art thing because you've already got your intuitive sense developed. And now maybe you do something else instead of art that takes it to, into another direction. So yes, there is some carryover. One is not entirely disconnected from the other. Obviously, they're connected, but the expressions are usually unique because the genetics and the environment are unique, and the genetics and the environment are very powerful forces as to how you express what you've got.
Fascinating. So genetics, environment, an expression, it creates another totally unique being that brings
Right.
back to the IUOC simply the quality of what the choices were.
Yes,
And that's so
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, so every incarnation, you are a unique avatar. It's not just the same old avatar, just dusted off with a few corners rounded. Yeah, it's a totally different avatar every time because genetics and environment are massive as far as what the choices you make once you're there. The kind of things you do, the kind of things that are available to you, for you to explore. It's very different from time to time. So they're not just, right now you're George Smith, and it's not just another version of George Smith. It's somebody totally different. Totally different genetics, totally different environment. So you get a totally different result, but it's still the same IUOC, which is not George Smith. It's the accumulation of all of those experiences. So yes, some similarities come along, but those similarities are very general things, not specific things. All the specifics are fresh each time. And that's good because now your choices are all different each time. The choices come out of the specifics. How your life plays out comes out of those specifics. So you have new things to choose, new ways of looking at the world, new experiences to find. It's good to have novel things. If you experienced similar thing over and over again, you wouldn't grow much. You'd get stuck. You'd be in a rut. So it's good to have experiences that are all over the possibilities. That's good.
Thank you, Tom. That question gave us something, a new way to look at our avatars and all of our lifetimes and how those work. Um, it's really the quality of the IUOC that counts and the lessons and how you learn them. Thank you very much.
INMBT Events hope you liked this video. We now have well over 1,000 hours of free video on this user-friendly, ad-free YouTube channel. Though these videos are free to our viewers, they represent many thousands of hours in production and editing, and many thousands of dollars invested in video and audio equipment, along with the required computers and software to store and process the raw video into finished products. So far, all of this content has been funded directly out of our own pockets. Be assured, we will always continue to do what we can. It's our life, our purpose, a labor of love that we will continue to pursue as best we can. However, those pockets are not as deep as they used to be. Thus, we are now seeking to augment our resources with support from our viewers. If you find something of significant value in our videos, please consider supporting their production through our newly created Patreon account or through a one-time donation. The links are in the description below. Thank you.